Good morning, everyone. Greetings, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. I have viewers from all over the globe, so you never know where you might actually be. But it is morning for me. It is 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You know what time it is, and it's March the 27th. It's a good day. It's a good day. I'm enjoying today so far. I had great listening to Jerry on jaw jacking today and the Daily Cyber Threat Brief. A lot of really good talk going on there. It was really interesting conversation and jaw jacking. A lot of cool stuff. So, and thanks for the shout out, Jerry, for letting people know to come check out the CyberCast IRL. Hopefully you all are doing wonderful this morning. We're going to talk some cyber stuff today. You know me, I'm all about harping on those Homelabs left and right because I just believe in my heart of hearts that building crap with your own two hands is the most beneficial thing that you can be doing to increase your knowledge, your skills, your resume, all that other fun stuff. And yeah, so if you're not building things and doing projects, you're really doing yourself a disservice. That said, we're going to talk a little bit about today. And of course, I think TechNet's going to have to come out for when we talk about these TeamPCP kids. You know what I'm saying? All right. So that said, I'm a little out of sorts this morning. You know what we need to do? We need to get to the morning pour because I don't know. My brain is just not engaging all the pieces in the right way. So I got to fix that. I'm a little verklempt, as it were. I keep seeing the chat roll by. I got things on my mind. I got I haven't really pulled out of work gear quite yet. Speaking of, I got to put myself on, set myself as I'm not at my keyboard. But yes, hands-on keyboard stuff is the apex predator of learning. That said, let's do the morning pour, shall we? Because I'm just losing my mind. I got to get this out of my way. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. All right. Lord's Camo Cup. You newbies are like, what the heck is going on here? What's this all about? A little ASMR. It makes us happy. Makes us feel good inside. Right? And I need my tackling fuel. Without it, I'm at 60% at best. This is what really tops the tank off and gets me going in the morning, which is Monster Energy. Any guesses? It's like, because it's near Easter, right? So we're going with a little bit of a lavender colored can, which is Ultra Wild Passion. Ultra Wild Passion. Maybe it's for our passion in cybersecurity. I feel like that works. So what we do is we get a little crack. We hear the crack, right? And then that lovely pour with the fizz and the foam that comes up. It's just so much fun. And then I get to drink it, which is the best part, because this stuff is tasty. You see what I did there? All right, let's get that stinking crack. Let's get it. A long crack, not a beer. Right. I always used to do that at the office, right? You crack open a Monster or whatever your drinking choice was. You'd have to say, not a beer. A mighty fine crack indeed, Legrat. I can't wait to check in with you good folks. All right, let's get that pour going. Oh, you know what? I'm losing my mind. Get that pour. Here we go. Oh, it's an epic pour. It's a bit foamy. Feeling it. I'm feeling it. Ha ha! Perfect pour. I'm back in form. Little tap. A little too much tap there. I get that ice. There you go. Oh, it is unbridled passion. That is delish, my good friends and colleagues. And I have a little bit on my table here. Let me move that. But that is not bad. Kathy Chambers is finally here. You made it. Yay, yay, yay. She's one of my best friends in the whole wide world. There's no doubt to that. I put the top on this. So I don't want to lose any more. I've already spilt too much of its gloriousness. Put that there. That way I can readily access it. See how things are now rocking and rolling. I got that out of the way. It was nice. It's nice, and I like it. Time to check in with you, good folks. Let's get over here. I gotta see here. Kathy Chambers says, finally made it. Space tacos with the super epic pour. That grunt with a well-executed perfect pour. Well played, good sir. Well played. Back to you, good sir. Let's see here. Well, let's go back. Now, if you're wondering, you're new, you're like, what? Everybody just seems to be friends here. That's how we like to roll, right? I am friends with all you good folks. Even if I haven't met you necessarily, there's so many ride or dies in this chat, like Tech Grunt, Furious George. He's running Mango Loco today. I see no flaw in your logic, my good man. Space Taco, Sierra Montgomery. IRL never says die. That's exact. Oh, you caught that, right? Right. I saw it and it was like, shut up and take my money. That's all. That's how it worked. Had to get it. It's just, I'm a simple man. I see a Goonie shirt and I don't care, if I got to go without a few lunches to pick it up. That's just how it works. But we also, by the way, for the news, the noobs, for the noobs out there, CJ Gaggy, my man, Marcus Kyler, a lot of cool people in the house today. Anyway, I'm gonna get it on the train tracks. Don't you worry. For the newbies out there just joining the show, by the way, say hello in the chat. You don't have to stay out of lurk mode. You can go back into lurk mode as soon as you say hello. But say hello. Let people know you're here. And we can become familiar with, there's a name that becomes, you're in the community. By the way, if you want to keep talking, or you like, maybe I'm not comfortable with the live situation, we got a Discord. The link is in the description. Go check that out as well. Now you can join the Discord, and then whenever you want, you can engage with the community at 365, 24/7, right? So, cool stuff. Now, this is also a bit of an AMA, so if you have a question for me, that's totally cool. I think I've already got some questions going on, so we're going to have to get up there and grab that, because, man, this stuff started flying by super fast. That's what kind of distracted my mind. But like Tech Grunt here, if you have a question or you have a comment, you want to raise something to the level that I can actually see it, make sure you at my name like he did. Don't add any commas at the end of that or exclamation points or periods or anything. Otherwise, it doesn't do this thing where it puts the little red box around it. Okay, and then I don't see it and it flies by. Or it's more likely that I'll miss it. So like Kyle says, I want to weasel my way into getting some enterprise-grade Intel platforms to take my threat intel to another level. Any recommendations? Some gatekeep a bit. So I'm not a threat intel guy too much. So I don't know of the tools. My me, everybody that knows me that I'm kind of into the whole what have I done? I think I've moved my desk. I seem a little off kilter. There we go. That's more like it. Anyway, I'm more of like the offensive operations. That stuff is my real bread and butter. So when it comes to threat intel, I think a lot of it is a bit paid for, and then the rest of it is basically you doing work, right? You trying to get the work done the old-fashioned way, manually, out there reading, grabbing up. And if you're talking about like sticks and taxi, that kind of stuff, and YAR rules and Sigma rules, I don't know, but I don't know if there's like a repository for those things necessarily that is continually updated. I could only imagine there is. So if anybody in the chat is more along the CTI route, that's kind of your bread. Wayne, right? Wayne's Real World. He's not here today, I don't think. I haven't seen him. He's normally like one of the first people in here. Someone's mowing a lawn out here right now. It's fun. But he dabbles, if not professionally. So you might want to check out with him. He's in Discord all the time, so he's pretty easy to get a hold of. Go grab him on LinkedIn or something to that effect. I think CTI Jake, I think is his name. Ooh, that makes me want to like look that up. Where is that at? This is from last week. Yep. Let's go here. I think that's his name, CTI Jake. Jerry had him on one time. dude was a master at this stuff. And is this the guy? Jake Velton? Oh, of course, you gotta be a stupid LinkedIn, and I'm not logged in because it's DuckDuckGo. Jake Johnson? I don't know, but it was something like that. It was like CTI Jake or something. This was from last week, all of us. All right, let's just get all these out of the way because there's InfoSec Pat. I think he was just at RSA. All right, so yeah. Again, sorry, not the biggest. Learn the diamond model of intrusion. You'll be golden. All right. Let's see here. Purple. Oh, you guys got that. Okay, agreed. My brain building crap with own two hands since 1982. Good job, Phil Stafford. Furious George. Curious to know what TechNext thinks on the government taking your routers away. I don't know. I haven't really delved into that too deeply, other than I've heard that's what they're doing. I mean, on one hand, like just off the dome, on one hand, it makes sense that we're doing business with people that want us dead. What? Uh-oh. Did the stream just drop? Okay. Apparently the stream just dropped. Maybe the lawnmower guy's out there like doing something. I noticed that the internet connection was a little janky this morning. Let me jump down here and we'll talk. We'll see what you guys are saying. Because whoa, you guys are talking. Yep, stream dropped for a moment. Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah, okay, cool. Everyone's back. It was a blip. Yes, there was a blip. Maybe the lawnmower guy ran over a pedestal outside. Who knows? Who knows? But it's back. We're back. My goodness. Good to know it was only a blip. And OBS, I kind of complained at me. Man, we are getting, so we're talking the routers. Furious George brought up the routers. Somebody else asked me way up here about something else. I forget who it was. Let me start at the top here. All right, the police. Oh, that was B and Carrie talking about that stuff. He was talking about a Security Plus. Oh, this was it. It was from Victor Rosa. I'd like your thoughts where companies are more reactive to security rather than proactive or preventative. So here's just a quick and dirty on that one, Victor. Organizations see cybersecurity as a money sink. It's just money funneling out. So they want to stop that hemorrhaging as much as possible. So they're like, only if we need it and only do the minimum, right? No, I'm not saying there aren't companies out there that are like, we take cybersecurity seriously and do invest into their platform and make a mature thing. Don't hear me say, I'm generalizing. In a lot of my experience, anecdotally, just reading articles and maybe, if it bleeds, it leads kind of thing. So we always only see the negative stuff in the news. But it just seems like, for the most part, they just want to do the bare minimum, right? It's that scene from Office Space that just incentivizes them to do just enough to not get busted, to not, get a fine or a levy or a sanction or whatever because they're not doing anything. I feel, in my opinion, in my experience, that many organizations would not do cybersecurity at all, or to they're going to do to the least amount that is required, right? So, and therefore, we tend to be reactive instead of preventative. So there you go. There you go. All right. So Carrie's talking about working in a toxic workplace. That sucks. Whoa. So getting a job, man. Getting a job. Good news is you have a job already. That's step one. I don't care if you're delivering pizzas or a Walmart greeter or whatever. Having a job is step one, right? So if you don't have a job right now, get a job, right? It's whatever you can get. Go grab something. The cool thing is because when you have that job, that means there's money coming in. Right? And we like positive cash flow. Now we're going to have to become really good at budgeting so that we can try to find some extras so that we can do other things like start. And I know you've done this in the past, Carrie, which is like doing repairs for people But you want to move into cybersecurity more. So, and we've talked about this many times, and you've done a bit of it. It's all about building those things in your resume, right? And then building a network of people that can help you, that know that you're constantly, you can't be doing things solely for the purpose of getting a job. You must be doing it because you like and enjoy it, right? Which is what we're going to talk about Homelabs here in just a moment. We're already 15 minutes into the show. Okay? So, if you're doing things that you're enjoying and that you're passionate about, and that is related to a job field, that becomes fodder for your resume and makes you an interesting client, a candidate, right? You've got your Security Plus, which you just renewed. Good job. Your A Plus as well. That's totally fine. It doesn't matter that most people, for people out there who like poo-poo, like, oh, you got your A Plus and your Security Plus, big deal, right? Don't listen to that crap, okay? You put the effort in. It was hard. You made it work. You passed. You're showing that you're making an initiative. Now it's time to keep going. I saw you're working on the Google stuff. Great job. You got that stuff you got to keep doing. You're not going to sleep. You're going to go without for a lot, and you're going to sacrifice, which I know you have, and you just keep going. You have to be putting it out there. And eventually, I literally saw, hold on. Here's what's up. I'm going to show you. Where's my LinkedIn? Where's this? I'm going to LinkedIn. I saw this yesterday. I couldn't believe it. I loved it. Loved every last second of it. Going to LinkedIn, going to my profile. I'll pull this up for just a second. Just a moment. I will be right with you. My best posh British accent. Roswell, UK will let me know how horrible it is. All right. So I put this post up yesterday. Let me grab this. Right? Because this is something that I'm passionate about. I'm working on. It's part of my job, but it's super cool as well. About configuring C2 redirectors. I did another post today, by the way. And, I got this whole C2 redirectors are the unsung heroes of Red Team Ops. Changed my mind. And here, this guy, Brandon Williams, says, oh, he likes the posts. So I'm like, cool. Thanks, Brandon. Very cool stuff. He's like, oh, for sure. You're one of my favorite IT members. Pat me on the back. I really appreciate that. It keeps me humble. Right? Because I'm like, praise. Right? But then, I told him I enjoy, I'm glad to hear that he's enjoying my stuff. And, just a little bit of back and forth of us. And then this guy, Alexander Kane, says, hey, Brandon, there's currently an open cybersecurity specialist position available at GSK that presents a fantastic opportunity for someone with your qualifications. The hiring process is being overseen by a colleague of mine. If you are interested in this position, I highly recommend you reaching out to him as soon as possible. The role you are seeking and your resume. Positions tend to, and he gives him the thing, right? There's a wish you best of luck, hope the opportunity. It says, cool. You'll notice that Brandon has his little open to work green symbol there. Right? They connect. Just conversating, being a part of a conversation. Brandon wasn't necessarily out there going, job grubbing from Alexander. Alexander was like, hey, he's open to work. Let me just check this out. Obviously Alexander's in the vein of something to do with this because it showed up in his feed. Right? Or he's connected with someone. It's all about those connections. This is phenomenal. This is awesome. All right, I'm going to have to blow by, because there's no way I could go back and read. I did see a bunch of QQQQQs. I'll look at that. Where'd it go? Booyah, from Carrie. Oh, what do I do now? Okay, I will look at what was shown to you, Sec Plus, to get the chessboard. Don't worry to go. So you can't just lean on Sec Plus, though, brother. Right? Okay? It's there. It's a part of what's holding you up, but it's not the only leg, right? You got a bunch of legs underneath you. That's what's going to keep elevating you up. That's what you got to do. So, CTIJ, thank you, FedEx. It wasn't Jake, it was Jay. Appreciate that, bro. So there you go. Thank you, Sierra Montgomery, as well. You guys hold me down. That's what's up. Yes, Kyle. Get it. You love it. I get that you're in a toxic workplace right now. Just make the best of a bad situation until you can leave. and be looking for other work. You don't have, like, if you're delivering pizzas or you're a Walmart greeter or whatever, and it's a toxic work environment, well, then jump from being a Walmart greeter to Narcos pizza delivery guy. You know what I mean? As long as you got money coming in, you can support yourself. That's all that matters. And no one's going to look down there. No, I'm never going to look down my nose because you're over here doing something to keep yourself afloat, man, especially in these times, right? So anybody that would, you wouldn't want to work there anyway. Listen, here's what I've learned. I'm going to bring y'all in, and we're going to get into Homelab stuff. Here's the thing. Things can look really, really cool from the outside. On the inside, it's a big festering ball of pus. I'm going to use that word, right? It's not awesome. I've been there. It's not awesome. You're like, wow, this looked really cool. And it's, I'm calling it a big festering ball of pus. Maybe it's just not for you, right? It's like, okay, I see how it goes. Right, this ain't really for me. I don't like it. It's not enjoyable. Even though it looked really cool, maybe for some people it is. Maybe some people that work where you work, they think it's awesome. But you don't. And that's when you know it's time to start looking in other directions, right? Give them the best you got. Always do your best. You never want to burn a bridge, right? I have been in both the pus situation and, this isn't looked cool, but I'm good. Kind of thing. Been in both of those situations. So you just got to kind of but you stick it out. You do what you can to exit that situation and come into a better situation. Okay. All right. There's Job Talk 101. Let's move on. I'm just gonna have to jump in here and get where you're at. Pus is not awesome, says Phil Stafford. He is absolutely correct. It is. It's pretty gross stuff. He said he did help desk without any certification, but that was back in the Upper Paleolithic. I love it. Stevie, right? Stewie. Are we thinking Stewie or Stevie or who's Stevie Lowry? What are we talking about here? Love that like rat. What's happening? Cheddar 420 YOLO says help desks typically does not require any heavy experience. Yeah. If you have a Homelab and a blog, most times you don't even need a place, right? They're out there. They're getting, it's a slog, bro. It is no joke. Anybody tells you, anyway, we're rambling on. I want to talk about building stuff. All right. It is a lot of fun. And to me, it is the best way to learn, right? I feel like if you're going to be learning anything, you obviously you have to start with the concepts and things of that nature. And you will go back to this post that I put up. Where'd that go? This guy, which was this, because this is what I'm doing. I say, so AV and EDR detection bypasses are some super tech wizard skills. Sure. But I'm not seeing enough love for this whole setting up OPSEC safe red team infrastructure thing, which is a critical and crucial piece of the puzzle that is a really good idea to learn if you want to get that deep in the weeds. Now, when I see red team things, a lot of times it's all about AV EDR bypass, which is absolutely necessary. And it's like I said, super tech wizard stuff. But what good does all that fun do you if it gets popped and busted because it reached out to, you know what I mean? Like directly back to your C2 and now traffic. It's like, that's not good. You need OPSEC safe stuff so that you can stay within. It's all about, red team's all about acting like APT, right? Advanced persistent threats. And I thought that was cool. So I'm like, man, I'm going to set up my lab. So I set up my lab. Let me see here if I can make this happen. Come on, I got to stay down at the bottom so the chat stays current. But here's my lab. Just give you a little peek behind the curtain there. Here's Adaptix C2, right? But if you look over here, I've got like targets. I've got a router. I've got stuff in the gray, like in the internet type space, which are my redirectors. Those are my two C2 redirectors. I have another router, and all I did was I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that simple flat network that we all tend to kind of learn on, and I'm gonna make it a little more complex. And you know what? Adding even that simple level of complexity. By the way, this isn't like a crazy setup, and I'm going to introduce you to a fun, light version of Linux that you can use to easily create things like routers and targets and redirectors and all that fun stuff. Uses 512K, right? No, megabytes. Sorry. M. I get my things right. 512 megabytes of RAM. I gave a gig of RAM, and because why not? It's just a gig. But you can get away with less than that. 8 gigs of space. That's all you need for a hard drive. 8 gigs. Runs phenomenal. It's called Diet Pi. We're going to look at that in a second. So I was like, yeah, this whole like simple flat network thing makes things really, really simple. And I didn't realize just how simple that was. And I should have, honestly. I should have thought about that a while back, but we get so used, like I said, we get so used to working in a simple lab environment that we forget that there's complexities around doing stuff, right? So I actually want to check in with you guys and see what you think about that. Yes, Furious George, 512 megabytes. Thank you. Keep me honest. Hello, Ali ZX. Good to have you today. So yeah, Cheddar says that. Oh, let me bring you guys back in. Cheddar says that VHS has 5 full-time staff engineers. Right. So EDR bypass, very important piece. That is the secret sauce for any pen testing, red teaming firm. Is they have their methods that they use, and they kind of keep under lock and key for making sure that they're always able to do initial access and make sure that those things bypass any of the nannies out there looking to put the kibosh on anything they're trying to do. But setting up this infrastructure and even moving away just from the idea of strong red team lab idea, even though this will absolutely be a good idea if you are studying for red team, is to build a lab with a little more chutzpah, a little more, meat to it. The Diet Pi thing allows you to do that really, really well and really easy. Good morning, Straw Hat Sec. So let's see here. Let's go back to this. So here, like, what I did was I created a network. This is a router. So this is Diet Pi. Just changed the name to router. And fun fact, Linux has the ability to, like, if you give it multiple interfaces, you can create routes and route traffic through it. It's fun, right? And I just used IP tables, the wonderful old school firewall that I cut my teeth on, to kind of like packet bend. You know what I mean? Like to manipulate what's going on. And you can see that here, that I've got a policy for the forward chain to drop. So I have a deny by default. So, because here's what's up. Here's the rules of the game. And if we go back to this, the rules of the game are simple. Set up 3 networks separated by routers. You have an attack network, you have a middle or gray net or whatever, and then the target network. They're all different networks. They don't just talk like we typically do. And this is where you start to add a little level of complexity. Cool. You get these 2 little Diet Pi routers. By the way, let's go get some Diet Pi. Let's go look at that. Bang. Diet Pi. Now you're like, hey, Daniel, isn't this for like Raspis and other SBCs? Why, yes, it is. Fun fact, though, if we can go for the download page, that there is a version that works for x86. It's in here somewhere. This is exactly where I got it from. I just don't see it now. But there's all your SBC boards, because some SBC boards use an x86 architecture. And look at this. This is, there it is right there. So if you're running VMware or VirtualBox or Proxmox or Hyper-V or Parallels, UTM or other. So I just went and grabbed the one I'm looking for. Booyah. Done. I didn't even have to really build the thing. You kind of do. Is it an ISO? I don't remember now. Here we go. Here we go. Say it is 1 gigabyte now. Or maybe on the others it was lower. But that's all I got. I got 1 gigabyte on it. Runs like a champ, like a super champ. I'm not even kidding. There's the appliance right there. You can get the OVA appliance. I think that's what I did. I grabbed that. Grab the OVA. Boom. Done. Or you can just, I guess I did grab the VMX. I typically like OVAs because then if I want to use VirtualBox, I can. It's easier. Right? You got your ISO image. Booyah. Let me grab that. Copy. Throw that in the chat. Where is the chat? Where are you, chat? There you are. Bing, paste. There you go. So go check that out. Yeah, even Hyper-V, it's super tiny. I mean, look at how many of these things I got rocking here. So this one here, that's DietPi. That's not. That's DietPi. That's DietPi. That's DietPi. That's DietPi. That's DietPi. Just 1 gig each. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's only 6 gigs of RAM. And each of them requiring 8 gigs of hard drive space. 6 times 8 is 48, right? That's only 48 gigs. Like my Kali box right here, that sucker's like 80 gigs just for itself at 4 gigs, 4 cores. This is all 1 core, 1 gig. Booyah. Right? And then you got to get a little handy. All right, cool. Make this a router, set up your static routes. If I do things like IP routes, you can see there's my static route right there. You can see that, right? This one, the same, but this one has IP tables on it. So it's kind of controlling what can connect to the target network. So the only traffic, looking at my rules here, the only traffic that can get in and out of this is from the 30 net, which is these gray. Nothing from there. Kali is on 10 net. And we can see that here, right? We got a 10 net right there. Booyah. Right? So this router is connected to 10 and 30. This router is connected to 30 and 40. And there you go. Now I've got a more complex setup. It's not just one big flat network. And then have some fun. You want to have some fun? You go and you try to like, you can't access. So if I wanted to go to this device here from here, right? So if I go here and I ping and I say ping, right? 40.150, which is that FTP server, I get nothing. But if I go for something in the 30 net, like my redirector, it's now, of course, it's going to like, why is it giving me host unreachable? Goodness gracious. IP-BR. Oh, goodness. What's the problem here? Sometimes I have noticed. Not that one. What happened here? Ping. Let's try 40, 150. But as you can see, it gets a little more complex, right? So that can ping into the 40 net. I don't know why that's doing that. There we go. Should be able to ping into the 10 net, which is 146. Yeah, okay. Okay. What's wrong with you, Kali? Ping 10, 10, 10, 10, because that's the router. Cool. Ping 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. You're watching me like go down. Okay, so I can ping into the 30 net now. Maybe it was just asleep. 230. Oh, 232 is not awake. That's why. I don't have it turned on. That's a problem. That's why it doesn't respond. Anyway, that's always fun. But there you go. So now but I can't hit in that 40 net, right? I have to have something in the middle. So for me to hit this, it needs to then bring traffic back through. And that's where you get into doing fun things with like Chisel and Legolo, or just setting up like an SSH redirector. This makes things more interesting because if you try to go in to use something like, let's do like MSF console for sudo MSF start, right? Get the database rocking, just playing around with Metasploit, right? MSF console. If you use something, so search for like, what was that? Wing FTP, use 0, right? And you go, okay, cool, options. And you tell it, hey, I have L host. Well, guess what? If it thinks the L host is 10.10.10, it can't reach 10.10.10. It's got to go through the redirector. So now you have to change that. But how does it know then to redirect? There's all sorts of like crazy options that you have to learn about. So if you do like show advanced, oh no, set advanced. No, it's just, right? So there's options, set advanced. Oh, you can always just do set and it'll show you all these things. Look at all these, like reverse listener bind address. And then you got to like manipulate things. It gets flipping crazy. It works, but you got to figure out how to make that work. And that's more realistic than, again, I'm still kind of like figuring it out. So you're watching me fumble around. So I just thought that was cool. I thought it was like something. Let's go back to you good folks out there. Let's see what you're saying here. I want to pick up what y'all are putting down. Let me back up to, it's the last thing I remember. Yeah. Victor Rissa, there's moments when you have to burn the bridge because they will still terminate you when you give them 2 weeks notice. That is true. Listen, you always want to be the good guy. Trust me. Excited for some tech time if you're still up for it. Did someone say anything about building? Yes, we did. Preaching the truth. Awesome. Yes, okay, there we go. Now, good morning, Straw Hat Sec. We got that. William Bailey, good morning. I love it. You have a link to set that up. I don't have I don't know if about a link set up something specifically. Let me know what that is. I tried to say the same thing and then replied to you. Got blocked. Must have an evil Stewie moment. I completely agree with you, though. Awesome. Dang. Hyper-V support. We saw that. Diet Pie. Okay, there's where it's okay, here's where we're picking up. Furious George. Sounds like the perfect OS for those any old notebooks laying out. Exactly. It's exactly right. Right? You could grab something with 8 gigs of RAM in it. You could easily get 4 Diet Pies going on in your Homelab. So you're not dying for, something with a little more horsepower. Let's see here. Yeah, DDR3 stuff. Exactly. That stuff is starting to go up in price. Tech Ricky says he's got a few old machines. Good to see you, Tech Ricky. The techiest of all the Rickies. Laying around, I've upgraded them, but will still work for some great lightweight VMs like DiPi. Exactly. And then you get to kind of like, I love when it does that. Oh, I think I'm actually almost caught up. Mute Avery Daniel is showing up his DiPi. Yep. Tech Ricky, hell yeah. My Homelab is Dell Optiplex 3050 with 48 gigs of RAM and a dedicated 1 terabyte SSD. That is perfect. That's a great lab setup right there. Got an old Raspberry 3 laying around, begging to do something with it. Absolutely. Turn it into a router, right? That kind of stuff. Mute Avery says he's still working on the dropper, hoping to add some cool features before I send it. Awesome. Can't wait to see it and give it a whirl. That's we're talking about some operator business. Let's see here. Tech Grunt says currently in the ceiling pulling network cables. Tech Grunt the raccoon says he loves the show. That's what you are. Hopefully it's stable for the CTF. Hopefully that'll be cool. But I would implore you good folks out there, don't just sit on a flat network. Now that I have that network set up, anytime I want to lab something, I'm going to lab it that way. I'm never going back to, well, I say never. Generally, I'm not going to be using a flat network anymore. I have built the infrastructure I need to always make my lab environment a bit more realistic, a bit more complex, because in real life land, that is how it actually goes. You got to learn how to port forward, how to get things to work. I'm probably going to set up DNS next, right? So I can do DNS resolving, because my lab is completely confined. It's not touching the internet. You notice it was all private networks. So every now and then I have a NIC in most of those things, if not all of them, that I can shut down all my other networks, give it some internet access, do some updates or things, download something. But a lot of times I'll just download it to my host OS and then kind of use it as a proxy as the downloads. It is the internet site. So I'll just download it to locally and then serve it up with Python or something. But there you go. FedEx is asking me about the Unify system for all. I don't even know what that is, brother. What's the Unify system for all? Oh, look that up. Unify. Pick up a Unify gateway, light and small Unify switch. For cheap, you want some physically separate. Yes. If you're really, I mean, yeah, if you want to do that, if you want to have physical machines connected in Homelab, I'm guessing Unify is something that's good for that. Let's go check it out. Unify, what was it? Unify Gateway. Duh. Gateway. Let's go check it. Ubiquity Cloud Gateway. Cloud Gateway. They like the Cloud Gateway. You can also do this in the cloud, right? You could just set up everything up in the cloud. Would I consider using pfSense in the near future? Yeah, it's possible. You know, why not? I typically, like, for my labs, I just do everything in VMs. Because what I'm usually doing doesn't require that level of network complexity to where you actually have hardware doing stuff. And took me like a day's worth of work to put all that together. Probably take me another half a day or so to get all the kinks ironed out, which are few and far between. So yeah. I don't really see the necessity for me to set up yes, you can do pfSense in a VM. You are right, Victor. Good point. That would be a little more, I just knew that was going to be quick, fast, and ready to rock. There's also another like OS that is, what is that one? It's like it's a virtual VM router. It's like OS. What is this? ViOS or something like that? Was that what it was? ViOS. VM router. Yeah, ViOS. Booyah. Reaching network proficiency with ViOS. They will download, and I think they have like a community version of this or something. Solutions. Security gateway. So anyway, yeah, there's options. There's other options. It was just super easy and super quick to turn Diet Pi into a router, and it worked really well. Yeah, OpenSense is another one. Yeah, cool stuff. So yeah, if I wanted to build a more robust thing, that's the kind of thing where I feel like we work in steps, right? We start off with something simple, and then as that is working and you get used to it, you're like, you know what, I want to stretch my legs a little more. And then you install pfSense in a VM and you get it doing the things. I think Proxmox has built-in layer 3 functionality, so that could be another way to go. The point of the story, the moral of the story, kids, is that make it more complex. Like add some more realism to your Homelabs, and then watch all the things that you were like, I know how to do this, go, this doesn't work. That is some bullshoo right there. Why that no work? And then you got to start thinking, well, I'm going through this and I got to pop through that. And setting up the gate with like the redirectors with like Nginx or Apache, if you want to go that route where you're actually redirecting to like web content, if you're not going to specific things, and getting HTTP and self-signed certs going to let's encrypt and getting blah, blah, blah. It's like that's again, next level, right? You got to start off with simple and then work your way up. If you tell people to go for the gold right out of the gate, they're going to go, nah, dog, I'm good. But if I tell you, hey, there's something really easy that you can do, and it kind of adds a little level of complexity and gives you the ability to say, hey, I've built a pretty robust Homelab. That is going to, when you start telling someone, going back to kind of like Carrie's idea of job hunting, if you're able to discuss with someone how your Homelab that you built an entire virtual network with routing, with layer 3 and firewalling and redirectors for your offensive security or defensive, or you built this entire lab, and you got some like, like security onion over here and elastic on the target network, and you're trying to bypass all this stuff, and you're playing this game of cat and mouse inside of your fun lab that it has way more layers and complexity than I did the VPN to hackthebox, and I did a machine. Not that there's anything wrong with it. That's cool. You should do that. You see, that's the other thing. Don't hear me say throw all the other stuff in the garbage. That's no. It's not either or. It's both and. Right? Anyway, it was fun to watch to fail in front of you. CyberCast IRL, right? Failing our way forward since 2024. Fun stuff. All right. That said, let's get to you guys. Let me get this out of the way. Let's see what else you guys are talking about. Mute Avery, what about adding firewalls and EDRs? Yeah. Yep. So the reason I do want to, I'm glad you brought that up, Mute, because, and you do say, what is your thoughts on that? When you're trying to teach somebody something, typically, and this comes from a trainer, right? Someone who has trained and done these very things, is when you're trying to show someone how Metasploit works, you have to show them how it works, right? That's like me. Let's paint a scenario here, right? Let's forget EDRs, AV, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. You got a network service like FTP. It has login, a username, and a password. Fun. I'm going to try to brute force my way into it. On my target machine, I have made a unique 40-character password. So, okay, cool. That's set on FTP. Login has a username and the 40-character crazy password. Now I put on let me show you how Hydra works. I'm an instructor, and I do Hydra, I do -L, I do -P, blah, 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 blah. I'm going for FTP : // and fire away. See you never, because this is never going to work. You never get the boom, here's what it looks like to crack a password. Same thing, right? If I've got all these net nannies over here stopping my interpreter payload from executing, the audience never gets to see what that looks like because it's being stopped. You let people know. You come out of the gate and you say, I've turned off Defender, I've turned off this, so for the purposes of the lab, so that you can see it. You set the expectation. I just want you to see what this looks like and what you can do if you are able to, because that's step one. And most instruction out there is for the beginners. It's for the people that are coming into it that don't know nothing from nothing, or they don't need to know the in-depth knowledge quite yet. They just need to get like squared away with how to use a tool and what the concepts are behind it. So you need to be able to visually show that to them. And the way you do that is you turn off all the things like AVs and EDRs and anything that would be blocking that from working. Firewall gets dropped so that they can see and go, oh, and then you go, now in real life land, these things will be on. Interpreter's going to get completely hosed. It's never going to happen. You would need to do some crafting in the background and change that, go into the guts of Metasploit and mess around with some code, so that when you compile your interpreter shells, they are not signatured, right? Or you got to get crafty, create your own loaders and things of that nature. That's advanced crap, bro. Right? Like that's the noobs are going, oh, so it's impossible is what you're saying. So I wonder what this aircraft mechanic job looks like. Not that that's not a bad idea. But that's how that goes. So I'm not against that. I'm against anybody that would tell you like, boom, I'm a super hacker. And forget to explain that they were turning off all the things that would stop that from working and tell you why it wouldn't work in real life land. Like, you have to throw that information on top of the fire. Okay. Let's see here. This has been a fun conversation, kids. Tech Ricky says he built a mobile travel router with a Raspberry Pi 4 with OpenWRT. Excellent. Right? Yeah. I can't tell you how many times when I first started teaching, people were like, well, of course you were able to crack that password. The password's crap. Like, yeah, people use crappy passwords. Fun fact. I don't, but others do. And therefore, that's why this works. Because you used a crap. So what did we learn here, kids? Right? Don't use crappy passwords. But as an offensive security practitioner, whose job is it to find out that they are using crappy passwords, you employ these tools. And you go, oh, look, now I have something to report, screenshot, copy pasta this, there into the report, and then you give it to your clients, and they go, holy dog balls, you mean to tell me we're using password 1? Apparently so, because I ran this thing and it worked. So you might want to, change that. It's just how it goes. It's just how it goes. So fun stuff. Let's jump into a little bit. We got a little bit of time left. Let's have some fun. It's time to get old tech neck out. Let me just channel all the tech neckiness inside of me. Start eating thistles as the redneck cucumber. Where is this thing? I got an article somewhere. That ain't it. That ain't it. Is that it? Is that it? All right, hold up. Here it is. There it is. Let me grab it. Come on over here to the dark side. TeamPCP. Now, when I first saw this, I thought, Billy, the hell you been up to? You're in the news. But then he was talking about backdoors, and I was like, Billy. And, oh, gotcha. LiteLLM. That's might be out of Billy's wheelhouse. But you never know. He could be over there ticky-tapping. I think he's in a chat room somewhere. He's just over here writing vibe code and shit, and I don't even know. So we've all seen this, man. Trivia been all up in the news. Yesterday, this one right here, was it yesterday? A couple days ago, I guess. I saw it yesterday. That this whole LiteLLM got smacked. So Trivia is the hacker group that just keeps on giving, aren't they? And this is why when we hear the word supply chain compromise, you piss your pants a bit. And you go, oh no, what supply chain? What supply chain you be talking about? Because I use supplies. I got myself a software bill of materials, which on Jerry's show this morning they were discussing. Very important piece of the puzzle. TeamPCP, threat actor behind the recent compromise of Trivia. That's where it all started. Poor Aquasec. Man, I feel bad for them. Because they do good work. I'll be honest with you. Trivia, I've used it. It's phenomenal. It's a great scanner for your cloud and your containers and all that other fun stuff. I mean, I got a container full of like Sudafed, but that's beside the point. So Trivia and Kicks is now compromised a popular Python package. This is when, it's one of the things where you go like, oh, it just got real. Right? It just got super real because LiteLLM is kind of popular. Is this I don't see the thing. I'm just going to click this and go to open link in new tab. Yeah, there's old PyPi. Does it tell you how many how popular this thing actually is? Because if it don't, it should. They should have this is the most amazing software ever. It is so amazing. Yeah, very, 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 very popular. Millions upon millions of downloads of this thing. And because old TeamPCP got their hands on some creds, so that's what their little thing does. That's what their little piece of malware is. They like, oh, once we got into Trivy, we put kind of a cred stealer in there and looked for like a bunch of different types of creds. And just rounded them all up and said, oh, I like this. This is nice. And then they said, well, I wonder if any of these creds works elsewhere. And they did. And they got into places like PyPi, into LiteLLM. And they backdoored that mother trucker, right? Publishing 2 malicious versions of LiteLLM containing a credential harvester, a Kubernetes lateral movement toolkit, and a persistent backdoor. So obviously these a-holes know what the hell they're doing. Multiple security vendors revealed that LiteLLM versions 1.827 and 1.828. What the hell version was this? Did they roll it back? Because that seems bad. Oh, there was probably an old... No, this is LiteLLM. I thought maybe the link is old. No, that's the link. Interesting. Anyway, don't download LiteLLM right now. Using the whole Trivy and the CI/CD workflow. Payload has a 3-stage attack because 1 stage, the hell with that. I'm waiting for 4 stages. I want 19-stage attack. It downloads 1 base 64 character at a time. It's 693-stage payload. That's what I want. That's the level of sophistication I'm looking for in my APTs. Anyway, credential harvester sweeping SSH keys, cloud creds, Kubernetes secrets, cryptocurrency wallets. Man, they just all about that crypto. Living that crypto life. .m files, Kubernetes lateral movement toolkit deploying privileged pods to every node. That's a real kick in the butthole right there. You ever been kicked in the butthole? That junk hurts. So I hear. Because especially with a cowboy boot, man, that pointy, brother. And I'm just saying, if you're ever in like a yard party and you get like super drunk, someone gets pissed off and you start tussling, don't kick them in the butthole. That's just not cool, man. That's some below the belt, take a point away kind of stuff, right? That's not how we roll. No BH kicking. Let's see here. In a persistent system backdoor, polling check marks, okay, initial binaries. So there's that. Indoor labs. So that's the fun part about it, is all this stuff is trusted because it's supply chain attack. As observed in previous cases, the harvested data is exfiltrated as an encrypted archive, TPCP, tar.gz. This is a rap song. Got my TCPC, tar.gz. Tech grunt, you understand the assignment. To a command and control domain name models, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So anyway, it's just interesting. We're running out of time here. It's interesting to see how, through one really good attack, they were able to get their hands in a lot of different pies, right? A lot of fingers and a lot of pies out there. And that is why people piss down their legs when they hear, did you say supply chain attack? On really popular stuff? Oh, no's. And you gotta do a lot of cleanup right there. So I'm sure this is probably not the end of the story when it comes to TeamPCP. Shut up, Billy. You're not on TeamP. He's over there with hashtag TeamPCP. No, it's not what you think it is, bro. Anyway, guy's a weirdo. This has been fun. Lil Tech Neck is my rap name. I need a grill. Yeah, Lil Tech Neck. Because I do some like straight up tech neck rap. Got to talk to Joe Hudson or Tyler Ramsby about that. They could help me out. I'm not good at it. This is fun, kids. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to check in with chat one last time. And I see a lot of funny smiley emojis, which I enjoy. I'm glad. Okay, baby Ruth, baby Ruth. Yes, absolutely. There he is. Sloth. We are all doing the truffle shuffle textile. Darn right. Live off the land, kids. Absolutely. Tech Run, it's time to kick the nodes and let the firewalls, because that's right. Tech Neck News. Password cracking master only uses Oafcrack. Oafcrack is cool, man. It's a great tool. Wonderful. If I'm not mistaken, though, Loftcrack is now available. I don't think it's being updated anymore, but if you want the OG of password crackers, I mean, John the Ripper, I guess, is OG of password crackers, but Loftcrack, that's some fire right there. I love a lot of people having a great time. Sierra, I'm glad you got a kick out of this one today. Let's see. We came across a university with multiple locations. The password policy set to 4 characters. Bad passwords are in enterprise environments for real. Yes, they are. And some people turn off AV EDR, or it doesn't get applied to that. It's not checking in. The agent is broke. These things happen, right? You never know. The techiest of all the next. That is right. That is me. I love that movie. I can't wait for the 3rd one to come out. Supply chain pain. You nailed it, Cheddar. We got White Hat. Reminds me of the old Kmart commercial. Shipped my pants. Yeah, that was funny. That was good. We shipped the bed. We ship the bed. Team PCP. Yeah, that's it. You guys are having a good time. You're making me laugh now. Credential reuse is always a fun time. Ye old. Indeed. Ye old. All right, there's one. White House. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm catching up. Cool. Well, looks like we had a great time. Hopefully everybody did. I know I sure did. Thank you for joining me today. I hope we all learned something. I hope I've inspired you to kind of go out there and push your skills to the next level as I continue to do it for myself. Good to see you, MS17010. You know, the username, not the actual exploit. You did make it. You just made it. We're closing the show. But thank you, everyone, again, for joining us. Have a great weekend. I'm going to go hang out with my wife and my kids this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully you have some fun weekends. Stay safe out there. And until next time, keep hacking.